My name's Stux, I'm a professional Overwatch coach, and I have a few tips up my sleeve that might help you aim. Don't miss out on any future videos by headshotting that subscribe button and join the Discord to ask questions. Consciously processing something is accurate, however it is also very slow. If we process visual information, translate that into muscle movements, and then execute those muscle movements, we are just too slow. And that is a problem. Let's say that the enemy is 9 pixels to the right of our crosshair. If we consciously think about our aim, then we need to first gather the visual information and process it, which gives us the data that the enemy is 9 pixels to the right of our crosshair. Next, we need to think about how far we need to move our mouse in order to move 9 pixels to the right. And then we execute. The problem? By the time we have done all that, who is to say the target is still at that same position? Especially when tracking with characters like Tracer, if you think about your movements, then by the time your current motion is over, the target could already be at a completely different place. Let's say someone moves continuously to the right, and you match that speed consciously. They switch directions, and by the time you consciously process that, your crosshair has drifted a massive distance away from the target. This now means that we need to place our crosshair back on the target, and the slower our motion is, the longer we will move in the wrong direction, and the longer the distance will be between our target and our crosshair. And that is not good. As explained in another video, the larger the distance between the crosshair and the target, the smaller the margin for error is when aiming. So we could move back to the target, but if that is another slow movement, then the target is going to be at a different place again. This causes under-aiming or over-aiming. Either we can't catch up with the enemy, or we are overcompensating for the delay we create by consciously processing our motions. You need to stop really thinking about every small adjustment you make in game. You need to focus on the target. That's all. The mouse movement needs to happen on its own. It needs to be a reaction. Reactions are much faster, albeit simpler. You need to train your brain to see the target being at a certain place and then automatically reacting to it with a small mouse movement. The only thing that would be constant are larger turn movements, but micro adjustments have to be reactive. If they are conscious, then they will simply be way too slow. It is humanly impossible to consciously process micro flicks when tracking, for example, or with long distance shots while still landing your shots. This is a very theoretical topic, so I am sorry if I can't really put it into practice, but when you are training your aim, make sure that you don't overthink it. Don't tense up, just try to focus as best as you can on your target and let your brain do its work. The more you practice, the more automatic this process becomes, and this becomes especially important in high pressure situations. As I mentioned in another video, during high pressure situations, our psyche always searches for comfort and familiarity. So while you may be able to get away with conscious aiming against bots, you won't really be able to consciously think about it and focus on your target and where you are shooting during a high pressure situation. During a high pressure situation, you want your eyes to lock onto the target and to trust in your reactions to put the crosshair at the location where you are looking. Your eyes are much better at tracking movement than your wrists or arm. They're too slow. So you need to make any movements in that area automatic and a pure reaction that simply reacts to the way you move your eyes in order to remain focused on the target. Once your wrist and arm movements are purely reactionary, you will have a much easier time aiming at targets, as long as you can keep your visual lock on them. That's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe so you can see the other parts of Aim Secrets and join the Discord community to become a part of something bigger. My name is Stux, and I'd like to thank you for learning.